Hello to all those beautiful people listening. Welcome to Ball Breakers. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and soon Facebook. Also, don't forget to subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and YouTube. This show is brought to you by Halo Creations. Give them a follow on @HaloCreations_ on Instagram, where you can find game day tees and also our Ball Breakers t-shirt. Use code BALLBREAKERS10, all one word, no spaces, BALLBREAKERS10 to get a 10% discount on any item in the shop. This is our first ever Zoom episode, and we'll be transitioning into the conversation right now. Broke up?
You know what I've been thinking about, and I just had to watch like a 20-minute TED talk on for a class right before we opened this Zoom meeting. I had to research and watch a TED talk about stress. A lot about stress.
Hmm.
Have you guys ever seriously watched TED Talks? Like
I
outside
Oh
of school?
yeah, absolutely.
You do, Chris?
I love TED Talks.
I do like them when they're short enough though. I like them like just around 15 minutes, and then I'm like good.
I recently watched one from 2008. It was a guy that is a hacker, and he did all this shit about like he hacked into this guy's emails, this guy's phone calls, but it was from 2008, so it was super fucking interesting to see how different it is now.
I'm like a
That was a
big
good one.
I'm like a big buff on like personal development. Most of the TED Talks I do watch are from school, but a lot of my coursework is like in happiness and aging and stuff like that. So the one I had to watch tonight was talking about dealing with stress. Um, and they were talking about like the the way you deal with stress, or the way you like, I don't even know how they worded it. Basically, the way you view stress changes the way you experience stress. So they said they did a study, and it was like a couple thousand people, and the numbers were like 60% of these people said that they viewed stress negatively, and therefore they experienced stress negatively. And actually, a number of them went on to die from stress related issues, like cardiovascular issue or something like that. And then the other percentage of people, like the 40%, said that they viewed stress positively, and they like none of them died, none of them had any issues. So it was just weird. Like we're saying, basically, the way you view stress changes the way you experience stress.
What's
That's a that's a really good talking
Yeah,
point.
well,
I mean,
there's a
the
lot of different forms of stress too. Like there's positive stress and negative stress. I had to learn a whole, like, I guess.
yeah, and that just goes back to your perception of things. I mean, it's like sadness. People can let sadness overtake them, but you can't.
Yeah,
If you're,
I think I said it a couple weeks ago on here when we were talking about the universe on the podcast, and I was saying like the way that you view the universe or the way you view the world changes the way you experience it. And I was thinking about that, like the way that you take in stress will change the way you experience stress. So it's like the one thing that I always talk about with people at the gym is like how quickly can you change the conversation, right? When you're in the middle of a workout and this workout sucks, you hate it, like how quickly can you snap that in your brain and say, actually, now I'm having fun, I'm doing this for fun, and then it changes the way you're experiencing this workout.
mm,
So I,
I I was taking a health and nutrition class in college, and there was actually, or no, that wasn't even the right class. I was taking differential equations in college for math, and my professor stated that there was an experiment done where if you ate a donut and felt bad about it, it would do more harm to you than if you ate a donut and just didn't care about what you ate. And it was like, it was a very mental aspect to it, because if you felt bad after eating the donut, then it was like a negative reflection on your day. And also, I think it also added weight gain as well. I don't remember the exact experiment, but I do know there was a neurological aspect to how you viewed the way you did things.
yeah,
Very
like
strange.
I've read a lot about like how you view things and how they can change that effect on you. So that just is another thing that just makes like so much more sense. Eating a donut and feeling bad, like I don't know, I personally don't think anyone should feel bad about
I'll,
something like that. I'll
mm,
gladly eat a dozen donuts. You know what I mean?
dude, oh my God, I'll crush a dozen donuts. And I'll tell you what, I won't feel bad about it until a couple hours go by. Waking up the next morning.
It's
Have
like,
you ever waken up with super like cotton mouth from like salty food the night before?
oh, dude, the worst is like eating seeds, like sunflower seeds, and your mouth is like all cut up and it's super dry when you wake up.
Mm.
You guys ever hear? I've been seeing a lot of shit like on like I guess I've been seeing on TikTok, but a lot of like I guess personal trainers or whoever like they go over their weight loss journey, and a lot of people do it like where they're not doing a crazy diet or anything, but they eat the way they feel that day. If that makes sense. Like if they feel good, then they'll eat like they'll just eat how they feel. I don't know. It's really weird, but like a lot of people like doing it. Like if you don't feel guilty eating a donut, then you're gonna eat it because you feel good about eating a donut.
I personally have never seen anything like that. So it's like,
Really?
Me either.
is there
I
like
saw. I
an
gotta find it.
example? Is there an example you can give us? Like if you're feeling like a donut, you'll eat a donut? I don't know.
So like it's kind of what Rocco just said. Like if you don't feel bad about eating the donut, then it's gonna have no effect on you. It's basically like a psychological thing. So it's like if I wake up tomorrow and I feel good about myself, I feel good about my body, and I don't feel guilty eating I don't know, a cheeseburger for lunch, then it's not gonna affect me the way because
I
that's it
was
comes with it's how your body reacts to it. I guess I don't know. It was really interesting. I gotta look into it more, but I saw a TikTok about it, and I was like, this is like
The
I don't know. I
way
don't know how the science adds up to because I mean, diet is obviously important during weight loss, but
the way
some
I'm
people
kind of
like
looking at that, Doc, is like someone if you kind of aren't on like a really good track of like working out and eating right every day, it's kind of like even if you did that like 3 or 4 days a week, and then the other days of the week you kind of fall off a little bit, you might not eat as healthy, you might like miss a workout or something, but you don't really feel guilty about that, especially
yeah, but
those
yeah,
days.
and you
Then you
feel
could
good about the
still
way you look that day.
right, and then like if you want to splurge a little bit or whatever, um, you could still achieve some kind of goal that way. It's just maybe at a lesser of a pace. But I
Yeah,
think that's a thing that a lot of people put stress on themselves is thinking, I have to lose this much weight in this much time. And, then if you don't reach that goal, whatever it may be, then you just stress yourself out even more. Um, but I kind of like that. I kind of feel like I do that. Some
I
days I'll
really
wait up,
I really
feel
hate
great.
yeah, but you're
thinking
not in
of,
the gym 4 days a week.
No.
so I really hate talking about like weight loss and basically like to me, I feel like dieting and working out and getting in shape is just like it's just truthfully very annoying. Like all because these people made these like socially acceptable norms that you have to look like this or you have to look like that. So I can't eat this donut today or I have to go to the gym tomorrow. Like it's like me I personally don't do any of that because I want to look better with my shirt off or something like that. You know what I mean? Because I personally could care less about like societal norms and stuff like that. I don't know if that makes me sound like a super weird hipster or something like that. But I just like I'm more concerned with how do I feel rather than how do I look. Like I'm healthy, I'm moving around well, I don't feel bad after like running a mile, I still feel like okay, stuff like that. Like I'd rather feel good than look good at this point in my life.
I'll tell you what,
Yeah,
when I went to physical therapy for my back and I did my stretches and I was like super my range of motion was like really good, especially like my lower body. It was uh it was a very good feeling and it wasn't anything like weight training or cardio or anything. It was literally just doing 10-second like 10 sets of 10-second stretches and just making my body feel looser and you get sore too, and next thing you know like your range of motion gets way better, and I feel like there's some endurance that comes from that too, just from the flexibility that you gain. There's like so many different ways to feel good other than just weight training, cardio, conditioning. I
Yeah.
mean
So
there's
like I to from what I'm hearing, like it sounds like you did like a little version of like a small yoga session. Something
yeah.
like that is like crazy what it can do for your stress levels. Like people don't realize they think like if you're stressed, maybe you'll put on loud music and start curling weights and benching all day. But like when you are just like focusing on your body and breathing and just thinking about nothing but like the tension in your hamstrings or the stretch of your ankles, like it's kind of crazy how much benefit that has as opposed to like putting on headphones and going crazy lifting weights and stuff like that. That's something that's like super looked over.
Does anyone know? Does anyone know the proper, like the actual formal techniques of running?
So
There's a certain way
No.
to do it, right?
yeah,
Like,
there is. So if you I didn't run track in high school, but if you guys like, I don't know, I know you guys didn't either. If any of our like people who are going to listen ran track in high school, like the first day you get there, they teach you how to run. Like to be honest, all four of us don't know how to run. We don't know how to run. There's a certain
Nah.
form to it, like everything else. Like I'm pretty sure they want you to like the way your hands are. They
you
need to
gotta go
be
like this, right?
They need to be at 90 degrees, and you need to
Hmm.
pretend
Yeah.
like you're taking your
Dude,
cell phone out of your pocket and answering a call.
I
I
always
learned that.
ran like that, and everyone made fun of me for it because they said that I looked so stupid running like this. And I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Because it's aerodynamic.
Well, you're just goofy looking. That's
I'm
why.
I did a whole like component on running in my one of my classes for. We have to
and
teach. I have to teach running.
and then like the way that your feet strike the ground, like it has to be like perfect. The way your feet hit, like it's just running is
Yeah.
very complex. It's not like just put on your shoes and run. If you want to be efficient, at least.
Dude, also you keeping in mind the form of the run as opposed to finishing the goal of whatever you're trying to run also probably helps you go further as well. Because in your mind, you're just thinking about your form and not really how far you're going.
Dude, I watched this I don't know, I was on YouTube at like 2 in the morning last night and I watched this documentary about running and basically Nike is making groundbreaking innovations in running to the point where they're considering this pair of Nike shoes as cheating because they're saying like a guy could put on these shoes. I mean, not any guy, obviously like an Olympian could put on these Nike running shoes and just crush Usain Bolt's record.
There's no way.
Bro, they were these shoes. I gotta look up what they're
Nah.
called.
No, there's probably some rubber at the bottom, and the way the technology is, he probably gets more of a bounce in each step or something like
Yeah,
that.
it's like one of the pieces on the bottom of the shoe serves as an extra spring. Like you know when sprinters have the springs at the beginning and then they go, like this piece of the shoe is cheating. Like it's literally cheating. It's called the Nike Zoom Viperfly. If you guys, yeah, people listening, and if you three want to look into it, it's literally banned from competitive racing.
Are
So
they available like on retail online?
I mean, yeah, but I'm sure if you ever tried to uh, I'm looking at it now. It says they're offering them in like summer 2020. So I guess they came out, but they are banned from competition. So if you run in them, you just are running for your own good.
I would love to try them things on just to see what they're like. Try to run in them.
do
You
you
probably still couldn't beat Doc. He's too fast for you.
Yeah, I'm really
I
quick.
don't really think I could beat anyone in a race.
do you think you could beat me in a race?
Yeah,
Probably.
No.
you're
Nah,
the
I could.
slowest human I've ever met.
There's
I'm big, but I can move, dog.
Dude, there's no shot. I think at this point in life, I can beat you in a race.
Why? Because you've been running like for the past 2 days with one of our friends.
No, I've only ran one day with one of my friends. I just feel like that if I, what kind of a response was that? I feel like I'm confident I can beat Chris in a race at this point of age, as opposed to
I don't
when
think
he
you
was a
could.
freshman in high school and was playing left winger for the GTHA Panthers.
Rocco, we have to
Just
like
scoring on you.
get you a pinch runner in men's softball. Like that
Yes,
shouldn't be.
I'm one of the. You have to get one for Chris now too.
Well, that
I was
depends.
injured.
That depends on the situation.
You were
You
not.
know,
Chris
you
had a
know that I
hammy
was
all year.
injured. I had a hamstring injury, and I'm telling you, I didn't properly take care of it, and it lingered for so bad.
We went
And
over
I'm
this.
on.
He threw up.
Yeah, remember? It was that bad, dude. I couldn't walk for 3 days.
Do you do you actually have this thing where when you're in an immense amount of pain, you need to just yak?
Dude, I'm telling you, it happened to me 2 times ever. And the one with my hamstring, I didn't actually throw up, but I was very close. When I hurt my ankle, I hurt it bad. I tore 2 tendons. It's just an overwhelming feeling of pain, and I guess there's just so much going on in my brain, so many things shooting around, neurons and whatever the fuck. And
Neurons.
something that happens to me is I literally get sick to my stomach that my body's in that much pain, and it makes me want to throw up. And
Now,
I threw my guts up that one time, just
now,
because, and I couldn't walk. I'm laying there on my knees, like throwing the fuck up.
now when you guys get whether you guys get hurt or you're working out, you're running, or even drinking, and you need to yak, are you guys someone who encourages it to like be like, all right, like let's get this out of the way? Or are you someone who's like, nah, I'm gonna hold this in for as long as possible? I get it right out.
I've never shied away from it
Yeah, me neither. You
because
gotta get it out to feel better.
I just think it's my body's response to something happening.
Mm-hmm.
And if I want to throw up, I'm just going to.
Mm-hmm.
Dude,
99% of the time, you feel better afterwards.
what about you, Doc? You hold it in or you just let it go? If you've ever like had to throw up for anything or
I think I let it go.
yeah. Dude,
I feel like you have to.
yeah, my aunt is a doctor in emergency department, and she was telling me this nightmare story how this girl, I guess she was like, I don't know if she was underage or if she was of age to drink, but she was basically drunk, like really drunk, and they brought her to the ER, basically like alcohol poisoning, they thought. But what had happened to this girl was that she had to have emergency surgery because she was at a house party and she didn't want to be embarrassed and throw up in front of everyone or at this party, that the acid from her throw up ate her stomach lining out. Like, so she had to have emergency surgery. So if people are listening and you guys said you didn't hold it in, if you ever have to throw up from drinking or something, maybe you feel nauseous, you want to throw up, do it. Because you don't want to end up like that.
Dude,
It's just like
sometimes
ridiculous. That's
Yeah,
what it's
bro.
ever since I heard that, I was like, if I'm out drinking and I gotta do it, I gotta do it. If I'm like not feeling good and I gotta do it, I'll do it. Like whatever the case.
sometimes I'll drink like, dude, there was a time where I drank like 6 beers and I was like, dude, these just aren't digesting. Like these are not, like, I don't have to go to the bathroom. They're just sitting in my stomach. I had to let it rip. I had to.
Yeah, and you probably felt great afterwards.
Oh my God, I felt like a brand new man. You feel like you actually, there's no better feeling in the night than like maybe about 5 minutes after.
If they're thrown up.
Yeah. Like that 5th minute mark after you like recovered and you switched out your mouth, got some mouthwash in you, drank some water, and then you're back on to whether it's some wine coolers. Yeah, I'll drink some high noons. I like some high noons, Doc. But yeah, no, like that 5th minute mark after letting it rip, for sure. It's the best. That's the best you'll feel all night.
Have you guys ever thrown up from strictly eating too much food?
Yes.
Because that's something I can say that I've never done. I've never thrown up just because of
I
eating.
actually almost did last night.
What?
No, I've never done that.
Really? You never done even as a little kid?
Not that I can remember. Maybe one.
Yeah.
I used to
maybe,
do all
but
the
not
time.
not that I can remember. What, you were super excited to eat? You were probably
Yeah, and I
you
ate too fast and I ate a lot, and it always like last night I woke up at like 4 in the morning and I hit the toilet and I thought I was gonna puke, and it was horrible.
Well, that's different. I thought you meant like
That's different. I thought you have
dinner at
No,
like
I-
7, and then like by like
Oh.
8, you're like, oh my God, I just ate way too much.
Well, I mean, like, if I ate too much throughout the night and I wake up at 2 in the morning and throw up, it's the
No,
same thing,
no.
right?
Well, yeah, no. We were talking. I'm pretty sure we were talking more like, oh, I'm gonna go to Chickies and Pete's and eat 5 buckets of crab fries,
No.
and then be like, oh, I don't feel good, and throw up.
I don't think that's like
Nah, that's
the
different.
food hasn't settled in your stomach yet, really, for that
No,
to
but
happen.
I feel like you said it happened to you when you were like a kid. I feel like that's pretty common in like kids, right? They get super excited
they get
and they
excited.
eat, and
Yeah,
Maybe like
no,
a
it's very
Thanksgiving or like Christmas Day meal.
especially a kid like Doc.
And me.
common. What, fat kid? Still I'm a fat kid.
Dude, you're fat.
Okay, and I could still beat you up.
Mm-mm.
Dude, like, what kind of interaction is that?
Yeah, dude.
I
Is
know.
everything
He
just
just
resort to
called me. He
No,
called
are
me.
you okay, Rocco? You just
Call me fat. Well,
I-
I'm gonna defend myself.
By
No, I
telling
think
him you're gonna beat him up? Like, what's
yeah.
wrong with you?
This
Okay,
is just
sorry.
not really like a wholesome conversation. Like, what kind of friends talk? You would never hear me and Chris talk to each other like that.
No,
It's
never.
Doc.
You told him he was anyway. I don't like that. That's mean. That's
It's
mean.
not, dude. There's nothing wrong. There's literally nothing wrong with weight. It's just the way. It's just the way Doc is. It's the way he. It's the way he carries himself.
Oh, you just don't like Doc.
Rocco,
Hmm.
Rocco, I think I would definitely beat you in a race.
Dude, let's get a. We should post a video on YouTube of us racing. What kind of race would you want to do? Would you want to do like a conditioned or a sprint?
Well,
Like
when
a,
I think of race, that makes me think of like me versus you and like
in a
one
sprint,
like the beginning of my backyard to the end of my backyard, like a
right?
50-meter sprint type of thing.
I would do that, and I would beat you.
I just think that I think I'm faster than you.
I have longer legs.
I really
It
want to see
doesn't
this.
matter. You're
What do you
you're
guys
just
think?
not very quick. And I'm not either, but I am faster than you.
I
That's what I'm
honestly
thinking.
don't know who would win.
I know who would win. Chris would win. 100%.
Doc said I would win, Rock, so you're toast.
No,
Remember how many times I beat you in tennis? Come on.
that has
What?
nothing to do with speed.
Wait.
I couldn't hit the ball properly. And it's funny because I went to tennis camp too, and it didn't even matter because I couldn't even hit the ball anymore.
How does tennis have anything to do with a race?
It doesn't.
Because I'm just everywhere on the tennis court.
No, you weren't. We were playing doubles that day too.
Rocco
What?
does suck at tennis.
I suck at tennis now. Dude, if you give me one day, I get right back into tennis. I mean, like one day of actually just playing a match and like letting me get my groove back. I mean, I went to tennis camp when I was like 12, and then we didn't play again until I was like 20.
That's such an interesting thing to say. You went to tennis camp.
Yeah,
Guys,
dude, that was good too. Now,
You two have like little peanut brains.
who?
You and Chris.
Excuse me.
How
We
do
were
I have a
just-
peanut brain?
We were just talking about something, and Chris just is like, you know what? You wouldn't beat me in a race. And then Chris,
Well,
and then Rocco says, yeah, I'll beat you in a race. And Chris says, well, I beat you in tennis once. Remember? Like, what? What does that have to do with anything?
Because he's starting to get threatened that I can beat him in the
and-
race.
And now Rocco is saying like, oh yeah, whatever, you beat me in tennis once, but I once went to tennis camp when I was 12. Like, what are you guys even talking about? What are you guys even
I don't
saying?
know, Earl. Some weird.
Yo, Doc. Yeah, I wish you were right next to me so I could tell you to stay over there.
Just mean.
Then Doc would tell you couldn't beat him. I'm starting to think I'm the only normal one here.
Nah, no shot. Dude,
What is normal?
Yeah, what is normal?
normal,
That's-
Earl?
Yeah, what
that's
is
I was gonna
normal?
say.
Yeah, what makes you any more normal than me?
Are you trying to say I can't be normal because I'm not white?
Mm-mm.
I don't know where you got that from.
All right. That's all. I just wanted to make sure that wasn't it.
Nah. No, you just said you're normal as opposed to me.
So who knows like what makes someone normal? So like I had
That's what I'm saying.
this crazy thought a couple months ago. It was like, what is anyone? What is anything? Like, I don't know. Is
Oh,
that
dude,
like
Dude.
don't get into these conversations.
is that like
Oh,
too
honestly,
crazy?
Earl, no, that's like too peanut brained of you. What
No,
is
I
anything?
can't take what you just said serious with Woody waving behind you. I just noticed you had Woody hanging up behind you.
Yeah, I got a little poster behind me there. A little poster.
Nice.
I got
What
some
is?
like. Go ahead. I was just gonna say something.
I'm
stupid
sorry.
about what's
Sorry
in
to
my
get
room.
you off track. I just couldn't take it serious with that poster. It's
No,
waving at
no,
me. It's
that's
looking
all right.
at me.
I thought you were about to say something else though.
Yeah, I don't know what anything is. Do we? You must know what anything is, Rocco.
Well, the way there isn't a measurement for normalcy, right?
I mean, yeah.
Um,
Like when you think about like normal, when I think about like what is normal, I always think about that SpongeBob episode where he's like, "Hi, I'm normal," but that's like
I'm-
not.
I'm normal.
Yeah, like that. But that's like not what normal people do. So like, you know
So
what
what
I mean?
you so Earl, explain this to me. You
Normality. Is that the same thing?
you see that door behind me? Say a dude just walked in, or a woman, whatever you want it to be. And then it just walks in and that person is completely normal. What are you picturing in your head?
I just could never see some random person you didn't know walking in your door to be normal. So
It
no.
doesn't matter. It could be my cousin, but it's the most normal cousin in the entire world. Walks in behind me. What do you say?
Like describe them.
Yeah.
Who am I?
You're
You're
Earl.
it's literally the same podcast. You're Earl
You're Earl
Chavez.
Patrick Chavez.
No,
You're
what I'm trying to say is who am I to tell them they are or are not normal?
Normal.
well, that's your answer, I guess. Maybe
To
you don't
to
depict
be or
anyone.
not to be, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the concept of normalcy is just such a slippery slope.
I have the
It could
definition here.
it could mean anything though.
It's the condition of being normal, the state of being usual, typical, or expected.
Dude, like what did that do for this conversation?
I,
But like
I
no,
just
no,
looked up the
Doc's
definition.
right. Like he gave us a definition, and we were just in the middle of saying like, what is like who are we to say what
Yeah,
is
like
normal?
what the hell does the state of being usual, typical, or expected? Like,
So like
Mm,
that's something that changes. It's fluid, right? Would you say that's fluid? It changes often. Like
hmm
who's
Because
to
I think the thing is too though, in order to be normal, you have to be compared to something, right? So like a celebrity is not normal to us. Their lives are nothing near normal.
that kind of
You know what
like
I'm trying to say
yeah
though?
no
Like you
that
have
kind of
to
like
yeah,
brings
compare
it
it to
no, you're
something.
right.
that kind of like brings it like back to what I was saying earlier about like comparisons to me in the media and like having social comparisons to other people. Like who's to say what is normal and what is not normal? Like I don't know. Like it's
Maybe
just
normal
something
is more
weird.
towards inanimate objects as opposed to humanity.
Like let's hear it now. Like what?
That was dumb. I say some pretty dumb things, but that was
No,
dumb.
I know what you mean, Rocco. Shut
So
up,
like
Doc.
the
Enough out of
chair,
you.
Doc has no. This is too.
in inanimate, whatever the word I can't pronounce it right now.
No, no. What I think you're trying to say, what I got out of that is basically you can't call any human normal just because it's too complex of a state of being. When you could call a table normal because it has four legs and stands up, but if you had a table that
There's
had
plenty of
27
things.
legs,
No, no,
No,
no.
this is bad.
well,
No,
I'm
I'm
just
with
saying,
Earl.
is that what you meant,
Absolutely
Rocco?
not.
I mean,
Like, is
what
that
if
what you were
what if
getting at?
All right. So I'm just going to use this comparison. I've been watching a ton of House. For example, I know. Here we go. Rock was talking about
Here we
House,
go.
right? And this is
This
like
is a show that was made in 1990.
well, no. So for example, like a normal heart rate, right? There's like a number for a range of what a normal heart rate is
is
because it's
that
like a
not
measure.
animate?
It's a measurement. It's not like a live object. It's like a tangible.
A heart?
Yeah, it's like a
No,
tangible object. It's not like a person. It's not humanity. You can't measure a human being normal, but you can measure like I don't know what would a heart rate as an example. There's normal heart rates, or else then you also have low heart rates or high heart rates.
hmm
No, you're right.
No, yeah, I could get down with that. I just thought you were trying to say that a heart like wasn't living or something.
no,
Heart
no. So
itself isn't
I
living.
mean, is there like another example other than that?
No,
Like
a heart. No, Rocco,
like
a heart.
within the means of your bodily like functions, like your heart rate and your blood pressure and your levels for like
right,
cholesterol, like there's normal ranges
But
for
there's
that.
also different. Yeah, but there's different ranges for every age group too. You know what I mean?
Just about, but like pretty close. But like, what
I don't
else would you
know.
say is normal and other than that could be described as normal? Hey, you're right with that. You're right. But is there like anything
Well,
else?
are you talking about like physical in humans or just like in life in
I
general?
just
Anything?
Rocco, you wanted to ask Rocco is what he thought about it, but I'm just still caught up about you said like tables can be normal. Like, what if who's to say like a table made out of cherry wood isn't normal, but like a table made out of like cedar wood
Well,
is more
I'm
normal.
hold on. So hear me out. What I mean by that is the definition of a table is like what what do you picture when you see a table? There's four legs and a base,
Yeah, but not
flat
every
base,
table
right?
has four legs.
I mean, my kitchen table has 5.
Not every heart rate is normal.
So basically all of everything we're saying right now is that the concept of normalcy is it's almost inexplicable, right?
No, it is perfectly explicable. I think a normal table is four legs and a base.
Inexplicable. Earl said it's not.
But like the thing is, right? What brings me back, as to say, if some stranger walked into your home right now, is who are you to say that that is normal? Maybe
Right. You
some.
can't say that a
Well, you
So
person.
this
can't.
is yeah. So this is like what well,
This is a normal table. I actually
it's
went the
nor
So
it's
wrong
it's
way.
normal to you, but what if in Zimbabwe all of their tables have 6 legs? Like who are you
well,
to
I
say?
was just gonna say everyone has a different perspective of normal,
Hmm.
correct?
No, but there's factual statements of normalcy as well.
No, there isn't.
Like
Yes, there
what?
is.
Like normal to you, but it might
No,
not be
no,
normal to someone else.
no. So like what Rocco means is you can have a normal body temperature of 98.6, right? That's normal. That's what he means. There are certain things that have concrete normal range. And most of that I feel like is
But you would
numerical
consider
value
that as
things.
normal, or would you just consider that as daylight? That's just what your body temperature is when you're healthy, right? Or when
Yeah,
you're
so that's normal.
Is
So
healthy normal?
if you have over 100-degree body temperature, that's abnormal. That's what I'm getting at.
So there's like some things that can be described as normal, usual.
Yeah. And that's just something that is like a concrete thing.
But I
And I
don't
guess
I don't think that you should say such a broad topic of tables, like a table with 4 legs is
right.
normal. Maybe
Okay,
normal
well,
to you.
right. So then, but answer me this: if you asked like Family Feud did 100 people on the street, right, and you said, "Hey, what is your view of a standard table?" They would say
But
it's
I
a
mean,
table with four legs.
are these just 1,000 people in the street of New York? Like I
A
don't know. Like,
hundred anywhere.
uh, but
It's
but
a
if you
random 100 people surveyed for Family Feud. They're all in case you weren't aware.
But if you ask 100 people who are living in New York City, who are living in America, where all their tables have four legs, maybe they'd probably say a table is normal with 4 legs. But that's just what I'm getting at, is that your definition of normal is yours. There's no
Exactly.
definition
Yeah.
for normal.
Dude, it's so true. What if you grew up in a house your entire life with like a table with 6 legs?
Yeah, that's like all I'm trying to say. I'm trying to
yeah.
say
Hmm.
that like it's not,
So would you base it off like experience and environment around you?
yeah, it would just be like your social culture, like your
Yeah.
like a perfect example, right? And I was just talking to Chris about this the other day, is that like eating, like what people eat around the world. So I was saying like there are some subcultures in East Asian countries that decide to eat pets, that's things that we see as pets, like we love them and know them as pets, but they just see them as a source of food. Like that's just normal to them, and it's kind of like it's gross for us to think about it, but that's like just their normal,
Hmm.
right?
Right, but that's not. I know what you're saying. I get it, but
What are
that's
you gonna say?
also
That's not normal, right? That's what you're about to say.
no. I was gonna say that's not measurable.
Well,
Do you,
that's two
what
different things.
what do you want to?
Exactly. So there is concrete normalcy, and then not
No,
that's
there's
see
not.
that there is
Well, there
concrete
is
normal. How do you
in like a
not
blood
understand?
pressure or like a
Yeah,
heart
and
rate.
when it comes to the human body and what
What was that? It sounded like someone just like stuck their lips together and like
we'll just have a pregnant pause.
One of us four
So
farted.
what was
so
that?
going back to what you said, Earl. Basically, what I was getting at that I do agree that the normalcy is very relative to the person, right? What's normal to you is different from what's normal to me. But I think that if you were to categorize normalcy, then I feel like it would have to be a statistics kind of thing. Like you'd have to ask 1,000 people what their standard view of a table is. And if most people say this type of table, that's probably the closest thing to normal. Does that make sense? Or is that just the most
Yeah, but this
popular
is what
thing?
Earl was trying to say. If
There's
you
a lot of issues that come to
Yeah.
like, so I take a lot of classes where I have to look into research and say if it's socially or if it's acceptable research. And there's a lot of factors that come into that. You can't just say I'm gonna like. What if you do a survey of 1,000 people and all of them are like middle-aged white guys named Chris? You know what I mean? Like then your data is just no good. Like you'd have to ask like one person in like every county of the world, maybe, and then you could say,
Right.
okay, yeah, if we're, so there's a
So
lot
say
of
if you
issues.
did that, right? Well,
But then,
well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying if you had to categorize it,
I don't think
I
I
feel
don't
like
think any sort of data like that would come back. I don't think you would make a study like that. Your study instead would say what is normal to this region and what's normal to this region and this region. Like you would never,
right.
you would just have to find out because we did say it's like a culture thing, like a
It's very
social
relative.
culture, yeah, to where you're from and how yeah, just where you're from basically.
I mean that's true for like so many things, just in general, is that everything that you know and perceive is just so relevant to where you are and where you've grown up, you're around. And there's so many people like Rocco that all they know is their little hometown, and that's just your view on things. That's just the way that you view everything. Isn't that crazy to think
Damn,
about?
it's a crazy shot at Rocco.
It's not a shot. He said it openly last time.
Dude, I'm gonna be. I have this as a goal. I'm gonna be traveling more.
That's good. You should.
I'm gonna go explore the. Dude, I want to be very
Fuck,
open
that was a
minded on this
subtle
traveling.
jab. It was a subtle jab.
Subtle jab, yeah.
No, it's not a subtle job. I need
Okay.
I need to explore this country and more.
I
Is the way.
agree.
Yeah.
And I want to as well. I mean, we went on the whole tangent talking about traveling.
Dude, you know what makes me I guess I want to say like hopeful. We were
What's
talking
that?
about I don't know, like we were just saying I kind of lost it for a second. And I'm trying to like backtrack to think about how exactly I want to say it. But like right before Rocco said he wants to like see the world and stuff like that, like it's awesome. I think that this is just like such a random thought, I guess now because I can't remember what we were just talking about. But like people, I feel like no people our age are like super racist, like the people in the generation before us. Like I feel like our kids are going to be like so much better for it. Like the kids that we have, like because you're going to want them to like learn from everyone, like learn what does someone else think is normal and blah blah blah, like stuff like that. Like our kids are going to be better off for it. Because I personally want my kids to like I guess if my kids are gonna be like half white or whatever, my girlfriend's white. So like I want them to like hang out with like other people and like learn what they do and what you like. To be honest, like if you guys didn't hang out with me or something like that, would you know that like Filipinos eat rice like for dinner every night or something like that? Like probably
Dude,
not, right?
Filipinos love rice.
They do. But like you'll get to learn like people get to learn
What
so
kind of
much from
rice?
each other. Just white rice. My mom has like 5 rice cookers in the house.
Oh, it's not like a special spiced rice.
No,
No,
no, like
that's the punzit.
I I work with a bunch of Filipinos at work, and the one guy goes home every day at lunch, and I said, "What do you eat?" And he goes, "I'm eating rice." I'm like, "You love rice?" Like,
it's pretty cool like when you start to meet people from other cultures and like what's normal to them and what you can learn from them, like what you can learn about them from them.
That is a
yeah,
good point, though, Earl. I do agree with what you're saying. Well, no, yeah, that's a good point. I don't really. There's so many things going through my head. I can't even put it into
That's
words.
I
I
that's a
know,
very
disagree with you.
broad
but
no,
conversation.
Earl, I agree with that.
I
It's a good
disagree
point.
with you.
Yeah.
It's like
I'm not gonna lie, even when I started to say it I was like I don't know how to say this, I don't even know why I thought about it, but like it's just something that I think about often, um
hmm
just because I
Do
mean
you think you could? Do you think you can go through an entire day saying one phrase and if you picked your spots perfectly, you would be looked at as like having your typical day. Like, for example, it was like, oh, everything's good, and you're only allowed to say that for the rest of the day.
I'm gonna be honest. I have no idea what you just said to me.
Dude, you're only allowed to use like the same 4 words all day. You have to get through the entire day, but people don't even realize that like you're trying to say that, like it's just coming off as normal. Like you just walk into work and you're just like, oh, they're like, yeah, what's up, Rocco? I'm like, yeah, everything's good. And then like I have a cooking job. They're like, oh, thanks for the wings, and I'm like, everything's good. You know, what I'm saying?
Like, is there like one phrase you can use to get you through a whole day?
A universal phrase, yeah. It just can go with anything. It works.
I guess.
Oh, that's a weird question.
All good.
Nah, I don't think
I-
that's one.
I think you could
Rocco,
just
you
say,
just blew that red light. All good. Like,
I
you
think
can get away
that
with a lot with all
to
good.
be honest, the number one word that came into my head was just sure.
Yeah, sure, okay, or something
Sure.
like that.
Like, hey, you guys want a podcast at 10 tonight? Sure.
Does sure affect you differently? Like, do you feel confident when someone says sure to you? Like, you just go with the flow, or are you like taken back a little bit? Like, oh, maybe this person doesn't want to do this when you hear sure.
Well,
I feel like it's relevant to every situation. Like that's
I feel like when
it's
you
like
hear it or when you see it over text, it might come off a little. I don't know if that
well,
makes sense.
I feel like everything's misinterpreted in text.
Oh yeah,
It's so
it
hard
is.
There's no
you
tone.
could just tell. You could tell by body language and just social cues when it comes to that. Like if it sounds like a condescending and they kind of slouched kind of thing, sure, like that's there's no confidence in that. But if someone's sitting up straight and they say it with confidence, sure, that sounds like you could take it as a yes. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like I said, that's relevant to every situation.
So
I feel like
tone.
whenever you say sure, Rocco, you say that in a more condescending way. Like that's your way to say yes, as if like, no,
Yo,
I don't want to do this, but sure.
Chris has been taking some subtle jabs at you tonight.
Right? Has it not been all night? What did I do to you, Chris? You still mad that I
No,
am faster than you?
no. Yeah, that's why I'm mad. No, I'm kidding. But that's just something that I've noticed about you. Just like when you call people homie when you're mad. It's like it's little things.
All right. You know what? I'm gonna dust you. Oh, all right, Chris. So for the people listening,
Okay, Chris just
All right, Chris. Chris is
he
left.
just logged off. Like, where'd this guy go?
so for the people listening,
I'm here.
no, I don't know. Get off the screen. I don't want to talk to you anymore because I want the people to
Rocco.
know.
Okay.
No, I want the people to know that when I answered you, your response to us was you turn off your camera and your microphone and then texted us saying, I'm about to poop.
But I'm here, bro. I'm just kidding.
All right. No, I don't even want, no, I'm off the topic.
All right, listen. I'm sorry that I upset you. That's what we're here to do, break balls. Sorry, it's more you this week.
All right. Well, listen, we talked a lot about things that are subjective to one person's being and what you think and what they think. Like Rocco thinks he can be in a race. We don't know anything that's factual. We didn't talk about anything that's factual. So why don't you just, Chris, come back, please, and tell us something factual that you have for us?
Okay. Are you asking me for my fat fact of the week?
That
Yes.
is what I'm asking you, brother.
That's good stuff. I got a good one this week. It's actually kind of interesting. I know you guys said last week or whenever we did our last podcast.
I didn't. Someone had told me that they thought your facts were too pointless.
Okay. Well, I understand. This one is interesting, so I'll just take you with it. So, my fat fact of the week is only one person in 2 billion will live to be age 116 or older. One out of 2 billion people in the history turn out to live longer than 116 years.
So there's currently 3 to 4 people on this earth who are going to live to 116.
Statistically speaking, yes.
Do you think we can be one of those?
Oh, before hold on.
No.
I have one question. I work. I stated this earlier. I currently work in the food business still, and you see a lot of people in and out, in and out. Do you feel like at your job you've spoken to someone who, uh, this is a little. All right, keep this in a very logical sense. Do you feel like you've spoken to someone in your entire life that murdered somebody as like a customer, and you had no idea about it?
Well, isn't there a
Uh,
stat for that too? They say like in your lifetime you walk past 22 murderers in your life or something like that.
Right. So do you think you've
Have you guys
spoken to
heard that
one?
before?
I've heard it.
no, I never heard that. I don't know if I've ever. I mean, I worked retail. Like I'm talking about like deal with at least like 400 customers a day in a shift in like 5 hours, and I don't know if one ever struck out to me as I'm a killer.
You would have. Nah, you for sure would have had to have seen one.
I mean,
I think it's
You're
one.
asking if someone ever came off to me as a killer. I mean, I'm a pretty likable guy, so I never felt like someone would show me their killer side. Wait, by the way, that the no the girl right now that's alive still at 116 years old. I don't know how updated this article is, but her name is Hester Ford, from Charlotte, North Carolina. So Hester, shoot us a DM. We're gonna send you a T-shirt.
Hester, we'd love to have you on.
I know you're listening. I know she's
We
listening.
do have
And
we do have a few listeners in North Carolina. I look.
Dude, if
dude,
anybody reaches us out to Esther, we will for
Hester,
sure get her.
Hester, not Esther.
I'm sorry, Hester. If, I'm sorry, Hester. That was very rude of me. If we have any type of representative to claim you, we will send you out a shirt in case you're not on Instagram yourself. But if somebody like like what's up? We have Hester here. We'll send you out a shirt.
so I just looked this up and it says that you will walk past 36 murderers in your lifetime. And I don't
One,
really have any stats for that. I don't know if this came from some study or something, but
Well, what they probably say is just like there's this many people who have murdered someone in the world. There's this many, your chances of
mhm,
walking past that or someone of that sort. That's probably what
right.
they do.
it
Well, I
also
just think like Rocco said, working in the food business, I work down the shore in Wildwood at a place that I think there's like a couple thousand people possibly on the premises at once. Like I wonder statistically speaking what the odds of there being someone there that has murdered someone.
I want no, I don't want to know like what are the statistics of the odds of someone being there. I want to know like was someone there. Like I don't want to know the odds. I want to know like
Right. That's what
yeah.
I'm saying.
Let's see.
to narrow down the odds, it says one in every 750 people that you meet.
What?
So Earl, you said you meet like 400 people in and out. So if that was like throughout the week, it would take you 2 weeks. There's a high chance that you met a murderer,
Jeez.
like every
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Dude,
Let's say I just work like every Saturday, right? And I meet like 400 people.
Mm-hmm.
Whew.
Yeah, there's a 50. Yeah, there's a pretty good chance that between that Saturday and the one after, you just met somebody who was just willing to commit a felony.
dude, that is so interesting to think about.
Anyways, I didn't mean to transition Chris's fat fact. What was the original fat fact?
1 in every 2 billion people lives to be older than 116 years old.
And then we
I
turned it
thought it
into a
was
morbid.
2.
1 in every 2 billion.
And then that brought us to Hester, Miss Hester.
Then that brought
I
us to meeting
cannot
murderers.
wait. I can't wait for Hester to DM us.
I mean,
her
as of
swag.
August 15th, 2020, she's alive.
Mhm.
Dude, imagine how much like she has been through. I mean, she's an African American woman like this. She's outlived slavery at this point at 100, right? At 116 years old, she lived through slavery. Now,
No,
Um,
that was during Lincoln's time.
no, Abraham Lincoln didn't end slavery. If that's what
yeah,
you're
I
thinking.
mean,
It was officially
they didn't.
the Civil War of like 18 something, right? When was the Civil War?
I don't know. Not a big history guy.
So that means she was born in 1905.
1865 was the end of the Civil War.
So technically, she may not have lived through slavery, but I'm sure that there was many places where it was still just as impacted by it. So, but
Okay, yeah,
regardless,
1865. But yeah, still, like,
regardless, living 116 years, she has seen some shit. Tell you that.
I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, officially outlawed in 1865. So no, she then she wasn't around for that at all.
I wonder, I wonder what she does.
Just like on a daily basis, being that
I'd like,
old.
yeah, I'd like to spend a day with her and see like what's up.
Let's reach out.
I don't even know. I don't. She wouldn't want
Pretty
to.
sure.
At 116 years old, she probably heard 500 people invite her to a podcast.
Yeah, right.
Why would you pick 4 idiots
Yeah.
in Blackwood, New Jersey?
Imagine if we had the chance to go out to North Carolina to interview her.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, we
Anyways,
just proved pretty good tonight. We have capabilities of using Zoom as one of our ways to meet if anything does come up. I know the pandemic is like still, it's just kind of getting to a halt, I guess. So if we do ever have to do this again, kind of worked out well. Or if we do want to have anyone on, if we do have any potential guests, we could have them through Zoom now that we know our capabilities.
Hmm.
the summer's good. The hot weather makes the virus less susceptible, I believe.
That's like really not true.
It's not true at all.
I mean, if it was true, why would we not, like, do you think the country would have opened last summer?
Well,
then-
for
Well, it started to open a little bit.
yeah, a lot of stuff opened last summer.
Well, and the cases were down very much so.
Hmm.
I think just generally speaking, heat kills viruses.
Hmm.
Yeah, but then like, what about like in like Mexico, right, or somewhere like somewhere it's hot, it's still just as prevalent.
Hmm.
That
So
is a
then
good
it kind
point.
of just contradicts that thinking, right?
Yeah, like in the
Then,
Philippines, I know it's like rampant, but like it's 100 degrees every day.
So basically, you're saying the government just lies about everything.
I would never say anything like that.
Mm-mm.
Nah, me neither.
basically,
To round it off, we were going to. So we talked about this with Doc's lock. It's funny. My dad sent a lock the day that Doc had his sent that the day that Doc picked his lock on the last podcast that we did 2 weeks ago, and it was like the Sixers money line against the Jazz, and they won, and Doc's lost, and my dad ended up talking a lot of shit on Doc because he's not as good as he says he is. However, we want to give Doc the benefit of the doubt, and going forward, once a week, Doc's going to see a lock, and we are going to post it on our social media, and then that way he will have live lines in which if he thinks something's fishy and he wants to read into it, he can. And we're going to get Doc's record going up from here. Chris, do you have his exact record?
I do. It looks like we have Doc currently at 1-2. Does that sound correct?
We've had 5 episodes.
Wait. Well, the one got canceled. It was the
Yeah, one
Capitals
got
Flyers.
canceled.
We had Doc's Locks, the Chiefs. They lost the Super Bowl to the Buccaneers.
I'm 1-3, I think.
We had the Blazers, and then the Blazers again. So you're 1-3. They both lost.
No, the Blazers won. I had the Edmonton Oilers. They lost. Chiefs, Oilers, Blazers. The
But you
only
had the
luck to
Blazers
one.
twice.
Blazers.
Yeah, and Blazers won one.
No,
was
and
my
then-
one win.
Didn't you have
Oh.
Suns the one game? No.
No.
Chiefs,
No.
Flyers, Edmonton, Blazers.
Yeah,
And
fine.
Blazers
Yes.
were his only win. Edmonton got absolutely demolished.
And so did the Chiefs.
So did the Chiefs.
So yeah, if you're
You're-
listening this far, first of all, thank you. Thank you for taking a week off with us last week. Like we said, we did have issues going on, potential exposures, just the whole deal. But we will be posting Doc's Locks going forward on the socials. If you're not following us on Instagram, make sure you're following us. If you're not subscribed to us, whatever platform you're listening to, subscribe. We have shirts out. Rocco, I know you have the shirt on right now. You want to?
Yeah, so for anyone who's watching the pod via the Zoom meeting, you guys also heard the beginning where I was introducing us just in the Zoom and how it was a segment leading us into our conversation that we had spontaneously started. However, to re-go over it again, follow Halo Creations _ on Instagram. Our Ball Breakers t-shirt is on there, and also for anyone who wants to see it on Zoom, here it is. And also use the code BallBreakers10, all one word, no spaces, BallBreakers10 on the Etsy shop that is in the Halo Creations bio, which is also in our Ball Breakers pod bio as well. And any other closing points before we round out this podcast? And one last thing, we're sorry we didn't talk about the Framing Brittany podcast. It was 2 weeks ago, and to be completely honest, two of our Stu Nod friends here didn't even watch it because they didn't have the Hulu subscription. So now, you know what? I'm going to throw you guys under the bus. And it was Earl and Chris it was Chris and, I'm sorry, Earl, I just threw you under the bus. It was Chris and Doc for the people who were listening. They didn't even watch it. Me and Earl were loyal.
If you're listening, you're probably not surprised that Chris and Doc didn't watch it, right? So, it's not a big surprise.
Big shocker. Big. What do you got to say for yourselves?
Chris, you want to start?
I'm sorry.
I got caught up with a lot of things. Been busy.
Now, what happened to me was I have a Roku in my basement, and it has all these apps on there, and I'm like so positive that I watched something on Hulu down here before, and then I went to watch the Britney thing, and it wasn't there. There's no Hulu. So, and then I got sidetracked, and I never found the Hulu account.
I actually just removed my Hulu account about a month ago, and I forgot about it. So,
yeah,
listen, I'll watch it. You want me to watch it? I'll find a way to watch it.
It's over. There's nothing to talk about anymore.
I mean,
free Britney, man. That's all I know is free Britney.
What'd you do? Spark note it?
Spark note? No, I just know, man. If you know, you know.
You know.
It wasn't interesting to watch.
Just to close, I'll close it out, Rock. Like I said, I'll say again, thank you guys for riding with us. We had to close down last week. Thanks for listening this time. I'd like to end this little show saying it's Monday. I'd like to have everyone kind of get in the right mindset. I was saying earlier in the episode, the way that you view the world can change the way you experience it. So try to change the conversation. You're going through a bad day. How quickly can you turn that? Rocco, why are you standing?
Gotta win Mondays, man.
You gotta win Monday.
Gotta win Mondays. I'm ready to go.